attitude itself is not a it's not a banal platitude about having a good attitude and how that can actually change the way you experience whatever it is you're going to experience and perform whatever it is you're going to perform and inspire others as well. And I have this quote in the book that optimism is something you manufacture from your attitude, but inspiration is something somebody else manufactures from your optimism. And those all work in tandem. And in Out of Reach but in Sight, Using Goals to Achieve Your Impossible, this speech that became a book that I gave in 2013, it was actually when I gave the speech, I talked about to the audience that as I thought back and I looked at all the people that I had consulted to, the companies I consulted to, the people that I had managed as a corporate practitioner, as well as all the people that I interviewed, recruited as an executive recruiter. And I said to stay true to that and to stay true to the Zebra Code book as well. I said there are three things that I notice about all successful people. They have passion, vision, and commitment. They're passionate about what they're doing. I'm not saying I want you to pursue your passion. I don't think passion works that way. We're not born with passion. It's something that we discover a love for something from the time we were born till now. And you need to be able to nurture that in different formats over your career. My passion has always been about helping people, except I used my talent in engineering and a mathematical and a scientific mind to go into an engineering field that brought me into an IT and management consulting profession. But my passion was still around helping people, but I was talented in engineering related, analytical related, business process engineering related stuff. So I got a job that would pay the bills, and then I found a way to focus in on leveraging my talent to focus in on my passion. And then it evolved into my executive recruitment firm where I took one step closer to focusing just on helping people. And now I'm a career coach who exclusively focuses on helping individuals. But I had a vision at each stage of that helped me understand where I wanted to take that passion and a commitment to never stop doing it. Now, I talk more about this in the book, and I would encourage you to read that. But I wanted to give you something a little different today, something I've been working on that I really wanted to make a whole talk about this. And I think I mentioned this to the book clubbers a few weeks back, maybe even a whole month. But I wanted to give you another way of looking at something that I think, I wanted to say, how do I look at people that, what's the magic that they have in common that I could share with you that I think, in addition to passion, vision, commitment, but to give you something more tangible. And I think everybody that I've met, and I want to put myself in this bucket because I want to share a personal story with you about the Mile Walk Academy. But I think that people that really got it all going on, they work in these frames. They have a framework. They understand the framing, and I'm going to explain what these are, and they have the right frame of mind. Okay, so number one, they have a system, a strategy, or an approach to anything that they do. And this is likely the least important thing. It truly is. The story they feed themselves. So I talked to you about framing, right? Priming is moving someone's emotional state to the place you want it. Framing is getting someone to look at and interpret your message the way you want them to interpret it. But guess what? The same goes for you. The internal talk that we have. What's the story you tell yourself? And so I will tell you the story I tell myself, but the story you tell yourself matters. The rhetoric matters. And so if you tell yourself, well, I'm going to fake it till I make it, don't ever do that, because this skull-shaped kingdom knows every deep, dark secret of yours. You could lie to a lot of people, including me, but you'll never lie to yourself. So if you think you're faking it till you make it, you're going to be a faker forever. You'll never make it. If you're trying to tell yourself, well, I stink and I'm always a bum and I'm always going to fail, you will. But if you believe you'll succeed, and I'm not just saying just because you think it and you want to manifest it into your life that it's going to happen. No, it's hard work. It's hard work. But I know if I put the hard work in, I will succeed because I have always succeeded. And if I give myself enough time to succeed, you can damn well bet I'm going to succeed. But then the state of mind is, how do I feel at any moment in time? And this is where attitude comes in. Am I going to experience it, and whatever I'm going through, am I going to gain the benefits of the experience? I also have told you in the Zebra Code, among many other places, that experience is not what's happened to you. It's the meaning you attach to what's happened to you. And I think this is the magic, these three things. So now I want to tell you a story that gives me a chance to clean up something I said on Tuesday that when I checked the tape, I don't think it came out exactly how I intended it. And so I wanted to clear it up. So you all are, you all have found me later in my career. And in 2015, I made a commitment to be a career coach in this capacity, the capacity that most of you know me. And when I started in 2015, it was July 1st. Literally, I made a commitment on July 1st of 2015. I said, I need to figure out a way to coach individuals, and not just coach individuals to help them with 100% of their life as it relates to their career, but I want to reach people around the world. And I have to figure out how to do that, but I'm going to figure out how to do that. And I need to reestablish, or basically at this point, create a new brand for myself. I was an executive recruiter at the time, so obviously I knew how to run a recruitment firm. I knew how to recruit. I knew how to sell recruitment services. So I knew marketing, sales, service, and a number of other things from a consultative standpoint. And I knew how to hire, and I knew how to interview, and I knew how a bunch of these other things. But I was a business-to-business organization. I sold business services to another business. In this case, was recruitment services. So between July 2015 and November of 2016, I reestablished that brand. So 15, 16 months, whatever it was. But the thing that I had to decide was, what is my overall strategy going to be for my new business? And let me tell you what I mean about the strategy. I didn't have to have it all figured out, and I didn't need to know exactly what it looked like. I knew that I could teach on, if I was going to help individuals, job searching. I could teach them on career development, high performance, success, and those kind of things. And I probably was better equipped at that time to teach you about leadership development. But I didn't teach you about leadership development, and I didn't brand myself that way. What did I do? I said, I want to think about, if I gave myself forever, at that time, right? This is 9 years ago, so I'm 49 at the time, or whatever I was. If I gave myself 30 years to do this, right, which forever, what would I do? And I thought, job searching stinks. It's an acute pain, and people, they need help. And if I could solve that acute pain for them, then that would make me happy, and I'm equipped to do that. So instead of teaching the leadership development first, let's teach job searching, but not because it's acute pain. I thought, if I really had forever to do this, if I teach them about job searching first, and I build them programs, and they get to know me, and I can do it in a manner that shows them I basically can help them with their entire career, I could then second, build a leadership development program so that I could help somebody find their job, and I could help somebody thrive in it. And that'd be a one-stop shop to be a career place for them to go to get basically anything that they needed. That's my vision. My strategy to grow into that is to do the job searching first, and then build a relationship with you, gain your trust, expose you to a lot of the career development stuff, so that the entire Mile Walk Academy universe works in harmony with each other. The job searching stuff creates a halo effect, and that trust for somebody who enters into my community that way is going to, and the person who wants to put in the effort to develop their career is my kind of person. I don't want to just fix them in their job search and let them run away and never see them again. Although I know I'm going to have to sacrifice the first few years to do that because I can only do so much at a singular point in time. So I'm going to give myself 3 to 4 years to do nothing but job search coaching, which is what I did. And I said, once I get the job search coaching in a format that I want, not every piece together, but in a format. What that format was I didn't know what it was going to look like. There was online training. There was individual resume reviewing. There was individual coaching. There was group coaching. There was online support. That, to me, that was the complete tool set where the individuals would have every modality. Once that's up and running, which it was, and then in 2019 March, I implemented the leadership coaching program. And the other day I said, well, I didn't really have a strategy. That's not entirely true. I had a strategy. I knew I wanted a subscription model. I knew I would be teaching every month. I knew I would be providing workbooks like this and creating of a library. What would probably have been more accurate for me to say is I didn't know exactly what the whole thing would look like as it evolved over time. But guess what? I didn't know I was going to write this book. I just knew I needed to get in motion, but I was always in motion inside this framework. It has never changed, not in nearly 10 years. It looks no different. I drew a grid 10 years ago that had this line, and I've just been filling it in ever since. Now, things might have changed within the little grid, but the grid itself hasn't changed. Some of the little deliverables that I create for you have changed, but the lanes are still there. The major assets are still there. The modalities are still there. And I'm going to continue to do that. So there were some dark days, people. There were some dark days. There was no balance in my life. But then again, if you want to be a 1%er, why would you think you're going to have balance in your life if you're going to be a 1%er? You're not going to be a 1%er by working 40 hours a week, right? Punching the clock, and then spending every other minute outside of work doing other stuff. That's okay if you want to do that. But if you want to become a 1%er, there's going to need to be a little obsession involved. But that's okay. But the story I kept feeding myself is, I'm going to do it because I've done everything else in my life. And I'm going to fail a whole bunch of times, but in the long term, it's going to be a success. And then at every moment in time, I never let myself get frustrated with the outcome-based results. We talked about this the other day, because when you have expectations, when I sold my first online training program and 50 people bought it in November and early December of 2016, I could have said, geez, you can only sell it to 50 people, instead of I made my first business to consumer sale and 50 people had faith in me enough to actually reach into their pocket and pull out their credit card and swipe it. That is a big freaking deal. And so the story I keep feeding myself and the state of mind that I constantly remind myself to have, because it's not automatic. It isn't. You have to slow down your thinking. Otherwise, it'll run at the speed of your emotions. So you have to constantly intercept yourself to give yourself the right frame of mind and feed yourself the right narrative. Who's tracking this? If you turn the camera, if you just clicked me off right now, but you got this, you won today. Because this, to me, is the trick for all of you. You get this right, you can do anything. And then the rest of what I'm about to tell you is pretty good stuff too. But it all starts here. Give me I'm tracking in the chat. You see what I mean? So when I say attitude, optimism, inspiration, this is what I'm talking about.